What if I told you that the pain you're carrying isn't actually yours? That emotional weight you've been shouldering could be someone else's energy you've unknowingly absorbed. Well, today's guest, Dewi Kauw, discovered this life-changing truth on her journey from a challenging childhood to becoming a successful entrepreneur and spiritual healer. Before we dive into Dewi's incredible transformation, I just need you for 10 seconds. If this possible has impacted your life in any sort of way, or you've shared it, whatever you've done, please, I really want you to hit that follow button right now. Leave us a 5-star review and share this episode with somebody who needs to hear it. Your support literally changes lives, including your own, and it definitely helps me spread the journey even a little bit more. Anyway, as you know, I'm Andrew White, and this is Leading Our Own Way. Today, Dewi opens up about leading with heart, navigating the complexity of leadership, and how her skincare journey became a gateway to holistic healing. Get ready for a conversation that will challenge everything you think you know about emotional healing and personal growth. Here's Dewi and myself for part 1, and we've got 2 parts coming this week. Have a good one, and here's Dewi and myself. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Dewi Kauw, welcome to Leading Our Own Way. How are you this evening?
Hi, Andy. Good to see you. I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Thanks for joining me on Leading Our Own Way.
I'm happy to be here.
It's such a pleasure to have you. We've connected through a former guest of mine, brilliant Lou, all the way over from House of Leaders.
Yes.
He's
It's
absolutely
funny
amazing
how
guy.
people just connect with one another, but I'm so excited to be here.
Oh, thank you. And I joined you on one of your events the other week, and it was absolutely incredible. And I learned a lot from you that evening. So thank you.
Thank you. It was a great.
It was a great evening, but I didn't realize I had to go halfway through because it was already like 12 a.m. because of the time difference of where you are. I was like, oh my God, this is going to go on for a lot longer. I love it, but I'm up in about 5 hours.
Well, you didn't miss much. We were almost at the end.
Oh, were you? Oh, I thought it was like the interval halfway.
No.
Well, it was incredible. Thanks for putting that on. Tell everybody a little bit about where you are in the world, because I'm filming in Australia. I have an English accent. I call myself the Englishman in Australia doing a podcast, but whereabouts are you in the world?
I'm in Jakarta, Indonesia.
Oh, that makes about an hour away, I believe, from Brilliant and his lovely wife, Faron.
Yes, we are about an hour away with no traffic. With traffic, it might be 2 or 3 hours.
Oh my Lord, that's crazy. If for everyone who's just tuning in, please go and listen to Brilliant's episode. It's absolutely fantastic, a powerful journey he's been on as well, and which leads nicely into your journey. For those who are just tuning into our episode and have missed the intro, because I will do a beautiful intro for you afterwards, but just tell us a little bit about the journey that you're going to take us on in this episode this evening.
Well, the journey would be a little bit about how I heal myself and evolve to be a better person, a better leader, a better business person as well, a wife, a mother. So it's all of that. It's about creating the life that you've always wanted and you thought that it's only in your imagination, but you can actually make it into a reality.
Yeah, it's funny. There's pieces of every guest that bring that element out of themselves, and that's what I love about the podcast. It just seems to paint that picture, but in beautiful, many different ways, because obviously every person has a journey, and every journey is worth sharing. And actually, it's funny because that resonated with this week's guest, Danny Swade, this is obviously 3 months ago by the time this goes out, but the guest this week on the podcast, Danny Swade, he talks about just that, making these things happen in his life, and he's doing a beautiful job. So obviously, please go and tune into that as well, everybody. We start off, because the podcast is called Leading Our Own Way, Dewi. I love sharing the positive part of the journey. It's not that the other part's negative. I don't mean it like that. But leading our own way, we all lead in in a different way. We all lead our lives different. We might live on the same planet and we all might look out the same window sometimes and see the same thing, but we all feel it differently. We all smell it differently, taste it differently, perceive it differently. So that's why it's called leading our own way, because we all lead in our own way. So I've just said it about 6,000 times. I've just realized. But tell us a little bit about how you're leading your own way today.
Well, part of it's I'm still learning to be a better leader. I own my own business, and part of it, what I'm learning now, is leading not just with a vision or with strategy, or I mean, all of that. Yes, you do need all of that, but what I'm learning now is lead with your heart. And it's not that easy. It's so much easier to just go, okay, here's the strategy, here's da, 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 like get this done. That's easy. But when you actually anchor in with your heart and you lead with your heart, that's not easy. And it's still something that I'm learning until now. Yeah.
What difficulties do you think you're finding with leading with your heart then, do you think?
Well, in the past, I used to have very low boundaries. So I thought by leading with my heart, it would mean that I have to help everyone and I have to carry everyone's weight and I have to. So, it's not healthy. They're not learning, they're not growing. I'm just feeding them off so that they can get there. And what I learned is that that's not heart. It's not. Leading with your heart is actually letting people be where they're comfortable to be at. And if they're not comfortable, to go more and be okay with that. They just might not be the right person for the right role. So, for example, I have someone who is excellent, and I thought, oh, he should be a manager. So I pushed him to be a manager because I want him to be more successful. But that's not what he wants. And
Yeah.
he ended up being a manager and he's miserable. And I thought, oh my gosh, what had I done?
Yeah, it's so true, and that goes in every industry, doesn't it? I listen to a lot about Simon Sinek, that business leader. I know Brilliant will know of him as well, and I'm assuming by your reaction you do too. And he talks about it's like being a parent, isn't it? Being a leader, not everybody wants to be a parent. Not everybody should be a parent, and it's the same in leadership. Not everybody wants to be a leader. Not everybody should be a leader, and sometimes we do force people into it, not force, but persuade or convince, or yes, sometimes force people into a position just because they're great at their job. But leadership is a whole new realm of a paradigm. We have to train them, and most people become leaders and we just go, here you go, you're good at your job, so we assume you're going to be great at this. Is that something you found as well?
Absolutely. So I forced the person to be a manager, and well, it made sense at the time. So he accepted the job, but he hated it. He hated being a manager. And he was once a star employee. And ever since he took on the managerial role, it's like everything falls apart. Things are not going well. And then he lost his self-esteem because he feels like he's not doing a good job. And with that, of course, it goes spiraling down, and then things gets worse, and then he feels even worse. And I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my gosh, what have I done? So
So
a
what did
high
you do to fix
performer.
that?
Sorry, yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
no. I didn't realize you hadn't finished. Sorry. What do you do to help fix that problem then in that scenario?
So I tried coaching, I tried mentoring. So in the end, I gave him two options. Either he could go back to his old role, or we figure something else, or change him to a completely different, different position, different role, something totally different. But in the end, he decided to resign.
Oh no. It's nice that you offered that though, but it's a shame that he did resign. He obviously felt he probably needed a clean start, maybe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Chronic stress can set in, can't it, in all aspects, and even on you as a leader, if you're trying to fix the problem for everybody and not allow even them to struggle in a healthy way, you still yes got to lead at the same time, but we've got to allow people to struggle to grow. A lot of chronic, if you're doing the job, you're paying all this money out, but you're also chronic stress for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's a problem.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but all good within good intentions, though, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a lesson I had to learn as well.
Yeah, and that will help look after the longevity, the finite mindset, the infinite
Mm-hmm.
mindset. Sorry, not the finite, the infinite mindset for you and your business. Well, tell us a little bit about your businesses then, because you're doing some wonderful things. Tell us a little bit about because you've got a few things going on in your life now, and then we'll dive into where that came from and where the journey began for you. But yeah, tell us a little bit about
Yes.
your businesses.
So I have, like you said, I have a few businesses. The first one is a skincare brand. It's an organic skincare. It's called Skin Dewi, my name. And then from there, it gave birth to another business. It's called, basically it's an OEM manufacturing. So I manufacture for my own personal brand and I also take on other clients. So it's a factory. And then from there, it grew into another completely different thing, which is my spiritual side of a business. Yeah.
That's
It's
amazing. How?
about helping people, sorry, it's about
No,
helping
no.
people with transformation, with healing themselves, and just creating the lives that they want.
So those two businesses that kind of was there, how did it transfer and manifest into a spiritual side then? Because obviously, are they connected? I don't see a connection yet. So fill in the gaps. How did you go from there, skincare, to wanting to do this spiritual side? There's obviously a journey there, isn't there?
There is, yeah. They're not connected at all.
Okay, there you go.
They're not connected at all. But being an entrepreneur, being a leader, that what shaped me and shaped also my own healing journey. So I always say that business is a spiritual game. That's what I always think of it as. Because by doing the business, I learned so much about myself. I learned about the wounds that I have. I learned about my weaknesses. I learned about my strengths. I learned about, there's so much that I learned. And from there, it sort of awakened me, I guess, to into the more healing and the more spiritual side of me. Yeah. But there was also a lot of pain that I went through that also sort of triggered that.
Yeah. And we'll get into that for sure. But
Hmm.
remember, I said at the beginning of the episode, the viewers will have heard why I got on the screen with you and a few other people a few weeks ago in a bit of a coaching session. Explain about that night and why that event existed and what we did during some of the call.
Okay. The event is called Rewrite Your Wealth. It's an event where basically we look at your money wounds, and the topic for that night is from the family side. A lot of our journey in life falls upon the programming that we have with our parents, the wounds that we have, growing up, inner child, and so on and so forth. And not just that, it's also all the generational stuff. It's like when a family, for example, the father, say, went bankrupt, and that usually sort of like the child also have the same issue, and then their child have the same issue. It's sort of like, it goes down the chain. So
Mm.
the whole idea of the event is to work through all those energy and really cut the chain and cut the ties so that you're no longer bounded by all the family stuff. There's also a lot of wound, for example, how let's say they saw their parents, let's say, argue because of money, and so they sort of didn't like money because money equals, whatever it's in their head when they were young. So it's all of those. It's working through all of those because I noticed that a lot of our current blocks in life right now, it relates to all those stories that we have, all those pain that we still keep somehow, maybe unconsciously, in the body. So as you work through the energy and you work through and you heal that pain, and then suddenly just boom, 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 like money just comes in and abundance just comes in, opportunity shows up. In the past, they might come in, but you might self-sabotage. You might do something and it just didn't work. I get clients saying that all the time. It's like, I have this person or client in front of me and then something happens and I lost it, things like that. It's because your body doesn't feel safe receiving it. It could
Mm.
be, when I receive this money, it could mean, my parents had a divorce, or, it could mean something else in their head and body. So it's working through all that so that they don't reject money, and abundance can just flow in easily. So the whole event is around that.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Absolutely. And so for you to put these events on, then why put them on? Is it personal to you, or is there has there been other people in your life that's, inspired you to do that?
Money has always been a very interesting topic for me. Ever since I started on the whole entrepreneurial side of my life, I've always worked on a lot of money stuff. Like there are lots of classes out there. So it's always been a fascinating topic for me. And what I learned is that when you heal this part of your life, the abundance, the money side, you heal all aspects of you. It's not just prosperity, it's also relationships, it's also self worth, it's also how you create in life. It's also your health. It's everything. So when you, that's why I love doing topics or healing topics around money, because that one thing, it affects all parts of your life. And when you change that, you do the work, you change everything else.
Yeah, so true. So for you to fulfill and, yeah, I suppose practice what you preach, it sounds like to me there's daily methods that go into play in your life, daily practices. Am I right or am I completely wrong? Is there something that you do to make sure you maintain that journey in your life, maybe every day or every morning? Is there a routine? Is there something that you do to bring that
Mm-hmm.
every day?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So it's part of my meditation practice,
Oh yeah.
not specifically about money,
Yeah.
just about things in life. And I usually have a healing project. So, for example, the project could be money. I just started a new business. The factory is fairly new. So it's how do I bring more clients in? How do I bring more bigger clients in? How do I, cash flow? There's always issues. So it's working through all of those. And it could be, oh, I'm facing some issues at work with communications, for example, that leads to whatever, delay in production, that leads to delay in payment because we're delivering late or whatever it may be. So I always use that space to look at the energy, like which part of me is creating that. Because I believe that all of us, we create our reality. If something's not going right, it's not because we're a victim of something, some external force. It's not that at all. It's because you created it somewhere. Of course, you're not conscious to it, but you created it so that there's something there that you have to learn, you have to overcome, you have to release, you have to heal, whatever it may be. So when you work on it and you figure it out, oh, so that's what it is, and then you release it, and then boom, everything changed. So I do it on a daily basis. Yes, I do.
So do you meditate every day then?
I do.
Is it a morning practice, a night, both? What in the day? What paint a picture for us there?
There's no specific day, I mean, time. It could be morning, it could be afternoon, it could be evening. Most of the time it's either morning or evening, not so much afternoon because I'm usually busy with work. So morning would be first thing I wake up, I'll meditate.
Hmm.
Or sometimes I have a morning thing, so I won't be able to have enough time. I might close my eyes for 5-10 minutes, but it's not enough. Then I'll sneak it in somewhere because Jakarta is, it's bad traffic. It takes hours to get anywhere, so I have time in the car to meditate.
Yeah, yeah, true. Yeah,
And
that's
then in
funny.
the evenings, as well, especially the evenings, I'll have time. I'll come home, have dinner, showered, and I have time. Then I also can meditate, sort of like to release the day, because usually a lot goes on in a day. So yeah, it's no specific time. I
Sure.
used to be very specific about, oh, it has to be the first thing that I do in the morning. I used to be like that. And then I realized that then I have more excuse not to do it because
Mm.
oh, I have this morning thing at 7 a.m. Like it's impossible for me to wake up at what, 5 o'clock so that I can meditate for an hour and then I don't have it. Then there's a lots of excuse. So now just do it when you can. Sneak in 10, 15, 20 minutes at the beginning or whatever, how much time you can afford, and you can always catch up later. So
Yeah.
yeah, no specific time for me now.
Yeah, I'm experiencing that a little bit with my cold water. I self-reflect when I don't do my cold water plunge and things like that, and even just a bit of movement in the morning, a bit, maybe a little bit of strength work here and there, or even just getting out in the sun because it's cold and winter here at the moment. Um, and oh, sorry, you've gone off. Are you there?
Oh, what's this?
Oh,
There's
the
a
video's gone off. There
oh,
she
it
is. She's
says
back.
something
T-
about moving the hand gesture. The
oh
little
yeah,
thing
maybe
pop
maybe
up.
your iPad's on a bit of a timer, so might need to touch it every so often. Maybe,
Oh.
maybe I don't
Oh,
know.
okay. Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
that's all right. I don't know. Bit of a technical issue there, everybody. But she's back. She's here. If you are watching, some people just listen to the audio. So yeah, the cold plunge, like I don't know, I just lose it sometimes, and what you've just said kind of makes sense because sometimes I'm so strict on I need to do it in the morning, and it's not even the cold that's putting me off. It's the fact that well, it is a little bit. It's a cold morning. It's dark. I must get it done. Oh, now it's too late because I've got to leave in 15 minutes and then I've not done. And then I actually ultimately feel shit because I've not done it. you know?
Mhm, mhm.
Anyway, we could talk about that for hours too. So for those who are listening going, well, how do I achieve this abundance in life? And, this, what you said before, you think about it, you manifest it, you visualize it, and then it appears. If somebody's feeling like they're stuck right now and want to, I don't know, leave their job or achieve some of the things you mentioned, where do we begin? Where do you think we should begin? Where's a starting point? What?
That's a very good question. I would say begin with going inwards and really connecting to your heart because
Mhm.
usually your heart already knows. Your mind will go, no, you're crazy, or you're quitting your job. No, don't do that. We need the
Because
money.
of logic.
That's what the mind. Yes,
Yeah.
so that's what the mind would say. And then the heart would go, yes, leave the job. There's a better opportunity. You're going to start your own business or whatever it may be. Your heart will lead you the way. It's about trusting. It's about trying to release control. We want to know what's going on. We want to have that certainty. We want to know, well, I need to be sure that I have this or that. You're trying to control things that you don't really know how to control. But if you listen to your heart, and as long as you are in alignment with your life purpose, you will never ever lead, being led to the wrong direction or the wrong way. There is
Yeah.
no way that you make yourself, not survive. There's no way. So
Yeah.
that with all the things that I've gone through, that's what I realized. At the end of the day, you are the creator of your life. So there's no way that you lead yourself astray. As long as you follow your heart, it will always work out somehow.
Yeah, agreed. And unfortunately, the underlying message that I get from all my guests, really, at least 95% of them, and for me in particular, it was definitely me. I had to go through a form of crisis, even life altering, potential death, even to make a change and go, I'm not just doing this anymore. And I think I'm so glad it happened because I think I probably would have stayed in the rut of things, chronic stress happening. I would have accepted the chronic stress because that's life, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
but when you experience that and hear those words of 30 minutes away from a coma, or if it's a car crash for somebody, or they actually have lost somebody, touch wood, that doesn't happen to any of us, and or cancer or whatever it may be that everybody goes through on a daily basis, that's when they make a change. So that's why I always say crisis equals change. Was there a form of crisis in your life to make these types of changes, even to get you into your entrepreneurial journey? Or was it because you mentioned before about childhood, some of the things you've discussed with the money side of things and bankruptcy, and it's generational, and history seems to repeat itself. Where did all of this begin for you then?
That's a good question. Let's see. Oh, just one little note. What you
Yeah.
mentioned there is called a wake-up call. So
Yes.
sometimes in life, you get a little tickle and you go, nah. And then you get a little slap and you go, nah. You need sometimes to be hit like, okay, okay,
Yeah.
okay, I'm up, I'll make the change.
Yeah. Absolutely. Totally. That was my wake up call. The almost dead. Oh, okay, I got to do it.
So my journey, let me see, where do I begin? I think it begins where I've always felt like I'm here to help lots of people. I didn't know
Mm.
how. I just felt that. And it's always been inside of my head, and I just see it, I just feel it, ever since I was young. I don't know how old, but I that's just always it's been around.
Since you were a child, yeah.
Um, from child, yeah.
And did you grow up in
And I've
Jakarta
always,
then?
hmm? Pardon?
Sorry, did you grow up in Jakarta as well?
Yes, so I was born in Jakarta. I grew up in Singapore,
Ah.
and I went to the university in Seattle, Washington, in the US. And then I circled back and came back to Indonesia, to Jakarta, back in 2008. Yeah,
That, I
2008.
mean, that early childhood, I remember in our pre-chat, that was actually a really fascinating journey. That actually quite shocked me in a little way. Talk to us. Let's go back to being 6, because I know I do want to go. I do want you to answer my previous question, but whilst we're here on the subject, I really want you to talk to me a lot about that journey of you being a young girl and all of a sudden just leaving your home and going somewhere else, because that to me is fascinating. Go there if that's okay, because that's unbelievable.
Yeah, so when I was 5 or 6, my mom said, "Hey, how about if you go to Singapore and you can go to school there?" I'm like, "What?" Um, and I said, "Why?" Well, she said, there will be better opportunities. You'll learn English, you'll learn Mandarin, and the education system there is much better. And I go, "Huh, okay." So then she took me on a trip to Singapore, and I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." She was actually joking.
Oh, she was joking
But
about going to school there, you mean?
she was.
Oh, why would she joke about that and then take you on holiday there?
Well, maybe part of her wanted it, but also, I was young, right?
Yeah.
So when I went to Singapore, I was like, "Yeah, let's do that." And then she's like, "No, you're still too young." Months later, my brother had an accident, so he got ran over by a taxi driver, and he was hospitalized for months, and they couldn't seem to figure out what's wrong with him. And so my mom took him to Singapore to, for medical reasons. And he was there for months and months and months and months, and he was missing lots of school. So she thought, might as well he goes to school in Singapore because he needs to, constantly go back for medical checkups and whatnot. So then she thought, well, since he's there, might as well me and my sister, I'm the youngest, might as well all of us go there as well. So he's not alone. So there it is.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah.
What was it like? What did you feel through all of this journey? Because, I remember being 6 and being in Manchester. I think if my mum had sent me off, not to, it might be normal culture there. I don't know, because I do hear these stories quite a lot of that end of the world. But if my mum shipped me off, I can imagine I probably would have felt, I don't know, isolated, lonely. What did you feel? Was it an adventure and you loved it? I don't know.
Oh my gosh. At first it was fine. Like it was an adventure. It's fine. At first I love it. And then a few months in, I'm like, no, I want to go home. And my
Yeah.
mom is like, no, well, you have to stay there. So, and then I felt, of course, abandoned. I felt like, oh, she doesn't love me. She's throwing me out. And for a long, long time, that stayed with me. I was so angry with her. I thought, well, you're the adult. You should know better.
Yeah.
For a long time, that's what I thought. Until one day, I was in Tony Robbins' Date with Destiny, and he did a part where you're supposed to write a letter to the person that have the biggest that you. I forgot what the word was, but something like someone that you really, really angry or you don't like or not hate, but something like that, or that you blame the most. That's it. The person that you blame the most. And I was like, I blame my mom because she sent me off to Singapore when I was 6. And
Mm.
the funny part, that was the first line. I didn't even realize that it's inside of me, but I've forgotten that. And all this time, I just keep thinking, why is my mom so mean to me? Why is she always criticizing me? Like that's my issue with her. But when I wrote that letter, I actually started with, I blame you for sending me off to Singapore. And I actually forgotten about it until I read it again because you're supposed to read the letter out to the person. But what was interesting, that session, he said, if you want to blame someone for the bad in your life, you also have to blame them for the good that come out of it. So because of that, I have grown to be a resilient person. I'm very independent. I can say I attribute my success to her because, I wouldn't be able to do all half of the things that I can do had it not been I was sent out to Singapore. I won't be able to speak English. Like it's like I have like this whole list of stuff that I have to be grateful for her because of that. And that changed my perspective. That changed my mind. And I think I healed a lot. My relationship with my mom, I healed because of that. And yeah, so when I read it out to her, and she said, "You probably don't remember this, but you said to me, Mom, I promise if you send me to Singapore, I'll get the first, like the best, the top score." That's what I told her. So she's like, "How do you say no to that?"
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
How did she feel when you read that out to her?
She just wanted to clear the air. And the thing is, I knew that I was the one who wanted to go to Singapore. I think I've always known that
Yeah.
I was meant to be there. It's just that part of me growing up, feeling abandoned and feeling angry. It's just that part of me that I need to heal and let go. And she took it very well. She was like, "I would have done it again. Like making that decision was the best, decision that she's made because look at you now. Like look who you are today. And that's all because of that." So I was like, she's right. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So did you
Yeah.
feel disconnected to your emotions prior to that letter and prior to, it sounds obviously like you connected back to your emotions again, but prior to that,
Hmm.
your childhood, your teenage years, did you feel disconnected to your emotions?
Absolutely. So, because I was sent to Singapore at such an early age, 6 years old, and I remember crying myself to sleep at night. And one day I was just so tired, I'm crying all the time. I just decided, nope, I'm not going to cry anymore. And phew, it just shut down. I shut my emotion down and I stopped crying. I stopped crying until I was 30 something, 35, 36 years old,
It's a
maybe.
long time.
It's a long time. Yeah. Like people would go to movies and they'd be like crying, "Ah," and I'm like, "Why are you crying?" Yeah, it's sad,
Oh.
but it's not that sad.
So when you reached, I mean, not to be rude, but how old are you now?
I'm 43.
So when you reached 36 and you'd not cried since in all those years that you just mentioned, did something happen for you to start crying again?
Um, so at that time, I was starting on my business journey as an entrepreneur. So I started the organic skincare,
Mm.
and I knew that I had to because I want to help people. So that's always been inside of me. Like I want to help people, and in order for me to help people, I need to be able to um, be okay with being, for example, like now being on the screen, being on camera,
Being
um,
vulnerable, yeah.
being vulnerable. And I used to be afraid of that. I didn't even know how to take a selfie. I had to practice taking a selfie 30 times a day. And I have to, I
Well,
didn't know how to take a selfie.
these pictures look pretty professional to me.
That's, oh,
Looking good
yeah.
on these
And
photos. I think you look pretty good in the camera. I think you're pretty good at posing. You know what I mean?
And speaking on camera, oh, that's a whole other ballgame. I used to practice on my laptop, just talking stiff, like.
I'm the same, and I've done a lot of episodes, so yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah. So it took a lot out of me to actually, I realized that I have a wall up. And in order for me to connect and help people, I have to tear the wall down. So it's part of the journey for me. And I was
Definitely,
working with, with coaches and whatnot to help me with that part of the journey. So as I tear down the walls, I also realized that I have to connect with my emotions. If not, then it's like you're living your life, you're seeing it from a CCTV from the outside, but you're not sort of there. I don't know how to explain it, but
yeah.
that's kind of how I felt. So I thought, okay, if I want to make a bigger impact, I need to work on this. So that's when the whole journey of feeling your emotions and all that began. Oh, and also I was sick. I had a thyroid issue. It was an autoimmune issues,
Oh, wow.
and so part of it is also healing. All the internal things. And thyroid is at the throat, so there were a lot of things that I'm not voicing out. I'm keeping it to myself, holding it in,
Mm,
holding it in.
mm.
So it's part of the healing journey. And when I started on that journey, I cried and cried and cried and cried and cried for like, I think it was like 6 months, if I'm not mistaken. It was a long time. I thought I already cried everything out, and then more tears came. I was like, how can there be more?
You unlocked it all,
Yes.
didn't you?
And I remember Marisa Peer saying, whatever you don't cry out, your organs will cry. So that's why I was sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how
Yeah.
the body speaks to us, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I experienced that very what I thought was anxiety, but it actually wasn't. I don't think it was. Looking back, I thought it was during the time I'd have all these anxiety attacks, being through triggers of toxicity in the workplace and workplace bullying and things like that. I thought I was having anxiety attacks. It probably wasn't, because I ended up having my gallbladder removed. I ended up having sepsis in the bile duct. It was that speaking to me, saying there's
Mm-hmm.
something wrong internally here. You need to get checked. And it went right down to the wire. But fortunately, the colour of the skin changed, and that made me get rushed into hospital. Anyway, that's not about me, it's about you. So fill in the gaps. You're in Singapore. You were there from about 5, 6. What age were you when you returned from Singapore?
No, I did not return. I went to the States.
Oh,
So
you
at
went
16
straight
years
from
old,
this. Wow,
Mhm.
16 years old. You were there for 10 years.
I was there for 10 years. I
Wow.
graduated O-level, secondary four, and then I applied to a college in Seattle, Washington. At I remember going to Seattle at the age of 14, maybe, or 15. I was sending my brother off because he's older than me, so he started college first. And me and my sister took him there. And when I first landed, like the plane landed, and I stepped my first step on the ground in Seattle, Washington, I was like, oh my gosh, this is it. Like I just knew I have to be there. I just knew. So then,
Wow.
yeah, that's the next part of the journey.
Let's go there then. Let's go from there. That's perfect way to start that next part of the journey. Why did the ground feel so real for you then to be there in Seattle? I mean, I love Seattle, but I don't know why I couldn't imagine living there. It rains most of the time.
Yes.
I like the needle and the city itself, but and the wharf. It's beautiful. I love it. But yeah, why?
I, I have no idea. Probably now looking back, I have a lot of maybe karma with the city. It always feels like home. Even after I return back to Jakarta, I still feel like no, Seattle is my home. This is not my home.
Mm.
That's how it always feels. So there's some kind of bond, I guess, that I have with Seattle. I don't know. I don't have it now, but it was there for a very long time. I had to really work through the energy. I had a fantastic time in Seattle. I met a lot of people. I started working as well. I met lots of managers, bosses who changed my life, shaped me into a better person, and I learned so much. And that's also where I met my husband.
Mm.
Strangely enough, we went there at almost the same timing. So I got there just 21st of December, 4 days before Christmas, and he came like 2 days before Christmas. We didn't know each other. So we met through a mutual friend. I think that's also we're supposed to meet there, timing wise and all that. So yeah, if you say why Seattle, I don't know, but I there it was but yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful place for me. Beautiful
No,
experience.
and if you went back there, would you feel the same, or has that passed
Probably
now?
not.
Oh,
Probably
okay.
not. Yeah.
And is your husband from
Yeah.
Jakarta too?
Yes. Yes, he is.
Wow, amazing.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
long were you in Seattle for before you decided to leave, and why did you leave?
10 years. I didn't want to leave. Choice.
Oh, because of visas.
Visas.
Yeah, that's tough. The visas, eh? I have experienced the visas being in Australia, so I get it.
And it took me many years to get over or to accept that I'm back in Jakarta. And I hated it. I hated everything about here. I hated the culture. I hated the place. I hated the heat. It's so hot and dusty. I hated traffic. I hated everything. When I came back, and I was like, why am I even here? Why am I not in Seattle? But it was just not meant to be. It's like every single thing that could make me stay, it just somehow didn't work out. Like it's just there's no way. My work wanted to sponsor my visa, and then suddenly I realized that my passport was expiring, so I couldn't be sponsored or I couldn't apply for the visa. And so when I wanted to extend my passport, the expiration, there was some kind of holiday, and so the office was shut down for a couple, something like that. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
that's
it was
crazy.
just not meant to be. It
All
was
these
just so
signs were
strange.
pointing towards
All the
not being there.
signs, exactly. And it took me a long time. I'm like, why do I have to come back to Jakarta? Why? For many years, I was depressed for the first, I don't know, 3, 4 years, maybe.
Wow.
I was depressed and I couldn't accept it. Like, I should not be here. And then what changed was having my second child because it gave me a purpose. She
Your
was
second
born
child.
with my second child.
How
Yeah.
old was your first? How long did you have your first child in the States then?
No, in Jakarta.
All
So
right.
yeah, we got married in the States and then we came back to Jakarta. I didn't want to be pregnant in the States, for whatever reason. I was still young as well.
Mm,
And so we had our first child in Jakarta, and then it was better after her. It was still tough, but it was better. And then the
yeah.
second child came along, and she was born with eczema, with atopic dermatitis. And that's
Yeah.
when things changed because now I realize that this is part of my purpose to be back here and going through this. I imagine it would be much more difficult for me to start a business in the US. I mean, I don't know. It might be possible. I don't know. But it's
Yeah.
a lot easier to start a business in Jakarta. Like the barrier, to, the entry is, it's a lot easier. So it made sense. And then from there, I began tuning it into my heart. Oh, right, right. I can do this. I can help people. So I got the sense of purpose. And so it all makes sense now. It wasn't back then, but now it all makes sense. Yeah.
I can see the links of why you started the business then because of what your child and your family were going through trying to support. Is that the purpose of why you built your business? Was that the skincare?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
That's
there you
that's
go.
exactly it.
That makes perfect sense, doesn't it? So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so you were, I mean, looking at it from an outside perspective, because obviously, how do you say it? I say, is it eczema? Am I saying it wrong to you, or is that different?
It's the same way. Yeah, it's the same
Y-
thing. Eczema. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, go into the decision making of making that business then due to the connection of eczema. I mean, a lot of people just react and go, right, well, I'm just going to put this stuff on, I'll fix it,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever it may be.
Mm-hmm.
Why,
Mm-hmm.
why this, and what do you put into your skincare that would, I suppose, look at the root causes or attack the root causes? And did it work for you and your family and your child?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when I first was dealing with the skin issues, it was very hard because she's crying all the time, and
Mm,
sometimes it gets so bad that she'll scratch it, even though we put on mittens and stuff, but she'll scratch it, and then it will bleed, and it's awful. And then when people come and visit, they're like, oh, what's wrong with her? Why does her skin looks like that? It was awful.
yeah.
And then I thought I need to help her. I can't let her live like this. I remember growing up, there was a girl in my school. Now I know it's eczema. I didn't at the time. I didn't know, and she had all these scars all over her face, her body, and everybody bullied her or stay away from her. So she's alone all the time. And I thought, oh, I don't want my child to go through that. I have to figure something out. So that started me on the healing journey. So I realized that you have to look at things from a holistic point of view. Even though it's a skin issue, it's not just the skin. Everything is connected, from your emotions, from your diet, from everything is connected. And so from there, I learned so much things about healing yourself, healing your skin, healing your body, healing your mind, healing your emotions. And I could go on and on and on and on. And so I realized that, oh, this is it. This is what I meant to do. I meant to empower people and help people through their healing journey, but at that time for their skin, of course. So I started doing workshops. I teach people. I teach also people how to create their own products, because usually when your skin is so sensitive, it's hard to use anything. So you kind of have to learn how to make your own products, which was what I did for my daughter. So I went through that journey. And then, of course, the brand was built, the company was built, and everything was growing to a point where I realized I'm sick of talking about skin.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But that's what gave you your purpose.
And then I realized that people come to me usually because of a skin issue. It could be, oh, I have acne or I have eczema or I have whatever. They'll come to me because of a skin issue. But when I talk to them, it's usually something more.
Yeah.
Way more.
Deeper.
So something deeper, exactly. So from there, I realized that I don't want to be limited to just the skin. I mean, I love formulating. I'm a chemist, right? I love formulating. I love creating good products that helps people, but it's no longer enough for me. So that's what prompted me into my other side of the business, the spiritual side.
I can see how that would link in there, because I was wondering where that was going to connect. But before we go down that road, then, if you don't mind talking about skin, because I know you've just said we don't want to talk about skin. But with the things, the skincare you were making, what did you look to put in your skincare then that was, right for your daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Daughter.
What was right for your daughter?
So, everybody, especially if you have allergies, you could be reacting to anything. And I'm saying anything, even though it's a healthy thing, you could be reacting to that.
Yeah.
So there's no right or wrong. There's no special, like, magical, use this and everybody will be able to use it and heal. And, it doesn't work like that. So it was a lot of trial and error for her. I have to figure out what was she sensitive to. I remember shea butter. I love shea butter. And I was reading all these articles about how it's so good for the skin, it's so moisturizing, da 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 da. So I thought, okay, perfect. I'll buy an organic shea butter and I'll apply it on her, and her skin will be, it will heal and she'll be fine. So I did. I flew it all the way from far, far away. It was so expensive. I imported it, making sure it's organic and all that. And when I got it, I was so excited and I applied it all over her body, and then she got worse.
Oh no!
Her whole body turned red. She was allergic to it.
I love how you're laughing about it.
She was crying. God.
Don't laugh. That's terrible.
It's terrible. I'm terrible. So that's when
I hope there's a good ending to this story, by the way.
There's a good ending. So that's
Okay,
when
good.
I learned that really, you can be sensitive to anything. You can be allergic to anything, no matter how healthy it could be. That's when I learned about food sensitivities. I learned about allergies, and I had her test it. So I realized that, okay, so she reacts to these foods, and she's okay with these foods. So I did the elimination diet, and her skin cleared up, and yeah, it was amazing. So I had to learn. I have to go through that and learn.
Yeah. Did you ever look at like the genes? Did you ever do a gene test to see what her expression of genes was saying to go, right, well, her genes are not responding to these things that are in certain foods? Because no, you didn't do that. So you found out your answers. I mean, that's all that matters, isn't it? So
did you more like a food sensitivity test?
What did you say?
A food sensitivity
food.
test.
Yes, yeah, and that makes sense, doesn't it? Yeah, of course, absolutely. And a lot of the problems in the world, outside of obviously movement and sleep, it's bloody food, isn't it? Food is a huge problem. Dewey's insights about leading with heart and the interconnectedness of emotional healing hit different, don't they? Do you think? Leave a comment. But, we're just getting started, because in part 2, we're diving even deeper into spiritual awakening, psychic abilities, and the challenges of absorbing others' pain while trying to heal them. Here's what I need from you, though, before part 2. Screenshot this episode, share it to your Instagram stories, and tag Leading Our Own Way. It will really help us. Tell your followers why Dewey's message resonated with you. When you do that, you're not just sharing content, you're potentially saving someone's life who needs to hear this exact message today. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review if you haven't already. It takes 30 seconds. Well, it's probably less than that. It probably takes 5 seconds, because just a 5-star push helps. We've gone from 5,000 impressions a month to over 20. It's been absolutely incredible where we're going. So please help us out. Part 2 is coming your way, and trust me, you won't want to miss it. What Dewey shares about her daughter's food sensitivities, and that changed everything as well. Until then, keep leading your own way, and we'll see you for part 2, coming very, very soon. Enjoy, we'll see you then. Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.